Thank you for staying with us this evening. Our top focus on News at 7. Times Network has been blocked at Delhi Assembly. Despite having permission to cover the Assembly session, Times Network reporters Ila and Tejashree have both not been allowed to enter the Assembly today. Now, both of them had permission to cover the session, but they've both been blocked, saying orders have come from the top. Now, over the next few minutes, we will show you what our reporters went through. They were blocked multiple times, right from the Delhi Assembly officials to guards. Take a look at these clips.
हमें डिसाइड नहीं कर सकते ना, हमें ऑर्डर कॉपी दिखा दीजिए लिखित में। कोई ऑर्डर है?
ऑर्डर नहीं है, वर्बली है।
तो वर्बल कहने से कैसे आप हमें रोक सकते हैं? ये मतलब गवर्नमेंट है ना, यहाँ पे कुछ प्रोसीजर होते होंगे, सब चीजें लिखित में जाती होंगी। हम समझ रहे कि आपको ऊपर से ऑर्डर है, लेकिन एटलीस्ट कोई ऑर्डर कॉपी होनी चाहिए, कुछ लिखित होना चाहिए। सिर्फ वर्बल से तो हम विश्वास नहीं करेंगे। हमें कोई भी कहीं भी कह देगा यहाँ मत जाओ, तो हम नहीं जाएंगे क्या? हम आपकी मजबूरी समझ रहे हैं, हमें बस इतना बताइए, हम अपना काम करने आए, हमें क्यों यहाँ पे रोका जा रहा है? और ये तो आम आदमी पार्टी का ऑफिस भी नहीं है ना, ये तो दिल्ली सरकार का विधानसभा है। विधानसभा है, यहाँ पे बीजेपी एमएलए आते हैं, ऑफिसर्स आते हैं। आम आदमी पार्टी का ऑफिस तो नहीं है ना ये। आप मुझे बताइए, आपको कोई रिटन ऑर्डर मिला है?
मैम आप है ना अंदर से एक बार
परमिशन तो सर ये पास है, टाइम्स नाउ का है। तेजश्री पुरंदर मेरा नाम है और ये पास इशू किया गया है।
आपके साथ कितने लोग पास इशू?
जी जी नहीं 16 तारीख का पास है, लिखा हुआ है टिल डेट हम जा सकते हैं। तो अभी आप जाने देंगे अभी अंदर?
अभी ले आइए।
नहीं,
हम यहाँ पे खड़े होकर अपना काम कर रहे हैं, हमें तो अंदर जाने की परमिशन दी है। आप हमें अंदर नहीं जाने दे रहे, उसके बाद भी हम यहाँ पे खड़े हैं चुपचाप। ये डीआईपी का नहीं है क्या? डीआईपी का नहीं है, डीआईपी की मोहर नहीं है, डीआईपी की डायरेक्टर।
आप डीआईपी को कॉन्टेक्ट करिए, वहाँ बात करिए।
आज टाइम्स नाउ बैन हो गया, कल टाइम्स नाउ कॉल आउट कर रहे थे, सब अंदर बैठे हैं, हमें बाहर खड़ा कर रखा है। बीजेपी एमएलए आते हैं, ऑफिसर्स आते हैं, आम लोग आते हैं मिलने, हमारा कोई राइट नहीं है क्या?
कल तक अलाउड थे, जब आज नहीं अंदर तो फैमिली वालों
क्यों नहीं अलाउ है? हमें यहाँ पे बताइए या हमें ऑर्डर दिलवाइए, या जो हमें नहीं अलाउ कर रहे हैं उससे बोलिए कि यहाँ पर आए और हमें हटाए। हम तो यहीं पे खड़े हैं। विनोद गुप्ता जी फोन नहीं उठा रहे, विनोद गुप्ता जी कोई काम करिए, बाहर बुला लिए, बाहर बुला लिए,
अंदर असेंबली में
असेंबली से बाहर बुला लिए।
so far there has been no answers or response from the Delhi government or Aam Aadmi Party's MLA as far as Delhi Legislative Assembly is concerned. Now let me explain you and the viewers as well that how the process is to get inside the Delhi Legislative Assembly. You have to see, this is the vehicle, checking of the vehicle which is going on. They ask you, and then there stands the checking room where if you are, if you belong to particular media house or if you belong to the some media channel, then you have to show this particular pass, which mentions that temporary pass for non-accredited journalists entering Delhi Vidhan Sabha during the session 16, because it started on 16 and it mentions till date. There stands DIPR, Directorate of Information and Publicity. From there we had issued these passes on 16th morning, and then we were asked that you can collect these passes and cover the assembly session. We have seen how Ila was speaking to the officials and she was also not allowed to get in. Now what these officials who are standing over here, from the police department and the security as well, they say that bosses or the top officials have asked them not to let enter us or not to let in the team of Times Now, and that is why the reason we have been blocked. Now let me show you the passes that I hold. The pass in fact that I hold in my hand. Karthik ji, if you can show. It's written temporary pass for non-accredited journalist entry in Delhi Vidhan Sabha during the session, that is 16th to till date. Name Tejshri from Times Now with my signature along with the information officer. This pass we will take inside and ask that why are we not being allowed to take in. Come with me. So this is the reception from where you go inside. And we'll just try asking again as what all we can do. सर मैं टाइम्स नाउ से हूँ, ये पास है 16 तारीख को इशू किया गया था, हमें अंदर जाने की परमिशन चाहिए है। आप लोगों में से कोई जानता है कि हमें परमिशन क्यों नहीं दी गई है?
कुछ नहीं बता सकते मैडम।
आपको 16-17 तारीख को जब हम आए थे, so this was the same register on which we had done our signature, mentioning our name, organization, time, contact number, IDs, and mobile number. In fact, so these are all the 3 registers that have been kept over here. We sign on these registers, and then from there, Delhi Police Security, we take our right, and all our instruments are being checked. Sir, please बता दीजिए, आप हमें अंदर जाने के लिए क्यों रोक रहे हैं? जी,
हमें कुछ नहीं पता मैम।
तो फिर पता नहीं है तो कैसे रोक सकते हैं? मतलब क्या कारण है रोकने का? कुछ आइडिया है आपको?
कुछ नहीं पता मैम, सॉरी।
तो आपको बताया, बस इतना बताया गया है कि टाइम्स नाउ को नहीं जाने देना है, ये बोला गया है अभी अंदर से, ऊपर से?
मैम आप अपने ऊपर से पता करें, हमें ज्यादा नहीं कहना।
आपको नहीं पता तो सर जाने दीजिए फिर हमें अंदर।
हम ऐसे जाने नहीं देंगे।
तो हमारे पास क्या हमने कुछ गलत चीज की है जिससे हमें अंदर नहीं जान दे रहे? हमारे पास अपनी इक्विपमेंट है, ये पास है आपका, ये तो हमारे पास अपना आधार कार्ड भी है, ऑफिस का आईडी कार्ड भी है जिसपे आईडी नंबर और डिटेल्स लिखी हुई हैं। आप तो यहाँ के ही ऑफिशियल हैं। सर क्या कारण है हमें जाने नहीं दे रहे अंदर?
नहीं, इस बारे में हमें नहीं पता मैडम।
हम पता नहीं तो सर जाने दीजिए ना अंदर। फिर आपको सुबह से ही मना कर दिया है कि टाइम्स नाउ फलाना फलाना चैनल को, टाइम्स नाउ को, टाइम्स नाउ के जितने भी सिस्टर चैनल से हमें अंदर नहीं जाने देना है। और भी कोई चैनल से जिन्हें रोका गया है? किसी और चैनल को मना किया है आने के लिए कि इनके अलावा और कोई चैनल नहीं आ पाएंगे?
नहीं मैम, हमें नहीं पता।
नहीं पता है, बस टाइम्स नाउ का ही बताया गया है आपको। रीजन भी नहीं बता पाएंगे आप?
नहीं, इस बारे में कुछ नहीं कह पाएंगे हम।
पर अभी अंदर जा सकते हैं हम?
नहीं मैम,
नहीं अभी
जी, अंदर जा सकते हैं अभी हम?
नहीं
नहीं जा सकते. So this is the result. What is the outcome when we showed our pass over here? This is the security, in fact, that takes place over here. However, we cannot show these all things in our visuals, but this is the pass that is being issued to each and every individual who comes over here as a media person, and it is a very valid pass. Till date, on 16th and 17th, I myself came over here to get an entry inside the Delhi Legislative Assembly. But again, we were not allowed to go inside. These are the serious questions, that why are we not being allowed to go inside? Is it the fact that we have been reporting on several issues, we have been exposing several things regarding the government on at regular intervals? Is it regarding that we ask tough questions to the government? Now it is quite evident that these all things must have been happening because of the questions that we raise. But it is the government who has to validate all these things. It is the government who is responsible for whatever is happening. It is government who is answerable to why a particular network has been blocked. It is not their party office that they can block us in the manner they have been blocking right now. It is not their house. It's not their residence that they are blocking us to not to go inside. Barricades have been put in. Let me tell you that since morning, security was not that highly deployed. And now they have deployed it as of now. Yes, we do believe that it is a assembly session and they have to deploy the security, but this much of security was not deployed till date.
Now, despite being barred from entering Delhi Assembly, Times Network's Tejashree continues to follow her journalistic duty, reporting on the daily affairs of the Assembly. Take a look.
Just outside the Delhi Legislative Assembly, that is the convoy of Kejriwal. Mr. Kejriwal, why are we not being allowed to enter inside? This is the main question that we have been asking. We have been continuously asking that why, what is the reason? There goes the convoy of Kejriwal who is about to address the Delhi Legislative Assembly session at 4 p.m. and it's we, Times Network, who is standing outside just to ask questions that what is the reason, why are we not being allowed to go inside? However, it was very much obvious that we would not get an answer for the questions that we have been asking, not just today but since long. Remember that it was the third day of the assembly session today, and let me show you the chain, in fact, of the police officials who barred us, who stopped us from asking the questions. These are all the police officials who are standing. The female police officials who are also called CRPF is standing over here, and the moment we started stepping towards the convoy of CM just to ask the question within the limits of the security, we were stopped at this particular point of time, asked to not go inside because we will be asking questions. And if we ask questions, what happens is this is what has been happening today. We have been asked to stand outside the Delhi Legislative Assembly, and the questions remain the same, that why it happens, the authority, the officials, the top bosses needs to answer so far the very unanswered and important question.
Let me go across to my colleague Ila. Ila, good evening. You, of course, had to go through this ordeal. You only simply put it with the fact that you were only doing your basic duty and also asking very important pertaining questions. But quickly, to draw things into perspective for our viewers, tell us what really transpired today.
Well, absolutely, Nivedhana. We have not received any kind of response from the side of Aam Aadmi Party, whether it's their minister or whether their MLA. Nobody has spoken to us about we being stopped to enter the Delhi Assembly today. It was not like that it is Aam Aadmi Party's headquarters or it was a private property. It is a property of public. It belongs to public and it has been made by the taxpayer money. And we were covering the session from past 2 days only, and I have been covering other sessions as well in the past, but we have never seen this kind of behavior what today Aam Aadmi Party, which is now the national party, has conveyed with us. And today me and my colleague Teshri also tried to go to attend the Delhi Assembly like we always used to do, but today we were stopped by the guard first. Then we also requested the guards to let us go and talk to the registrars who check our passes. We had all the valid passes, we had our office ID as well, we have our Aadhaar card. We also told them to see all the ID card which are required. We have all the required passes, and still we were not allowed, and we were not being told the reason that why we aren't being allowed inside the assembly. And even we were not even allowed to be inside the premises as well. We were standing inside the premises. Then also some guards came to me. They lashed out at us. It was Delhi government security which were acting more like goons, and what we have seen in Chandigarh as well with our colleague Bhavna, that how she got arrested and was put in jail by Aam Aadmi Party government. There today the Aam Aadmi Party behaved in the same manner when we were stopped without showing any written order, without showing that there was a written thing, anything which was provided to us. We would have understood that okay, this is the procedure, but nothing was shown to us, no explanation given, no reason given. We were just stopped there. When BJP does like that, Aam Aadmi Party is the one who comes on the road and protest and raise slogans, but today they were doing a thing which is literally so inconvenient for the parties. Like even in the history as well, nobody has barred, no one's voice is gagged. We were barred, we were gagged, we were stopped, we were jailed. And why? Because we shown the operation Sheesh Mahal. We exposed what scam is right now going on, and still we were just going there to do our jobs. We were going there to raise the relevant issues, people issues. We were going at a place of taxpayers' money, a place where issues of people are discussed, but we were stopped. We were not permitted to get inside we were having all the required permission as well. So the question is why Aam Aadmi Party is afraid of Times Network so much. We were just doing our job. We were just raising the issues which concern the citizens. So why not let us enter? Why not let us attend the
As you
Delhi
get us those
Assembly?
details,
Why
you ask a
not,
very important question. All you were doing
are
is
they
your
a
basic
caution?
journalistic duty, but for the moment, Ila, we leave it at that. But of course, we continue to track, and also in terms of taking this conversation forward, I have guests on my show, RP Singh, national spokesperson of the BJP, Ravi Srivastava, political analyst, as well as Omesh Saigal, ex-chief secretary of Delhi. Good evening to all of you. Thank you very much for taking the time out and speaking to us. I'm going to come back to you just in a few seconds. We do understand that viewers would also want to share their perspective. Let's quickly get Anant from Bengaluru to tell us what he thinks. Anant, good evening. Go ahead and share with us your perspective.
Gag order on Times Now by Aam Aadmi Party, which is not acceptable, because Times Now is one of the most popular channel, very responsible channel, and whatever they have shown so far about Sheesh Mahal and all is a fact only. And he cannot issue any gag order. I don't know why other parties are accepting it. If BJP has done it, the other party would have jumped on them. But because Aam Aadmi Party is they are the alliance in India, the INDIA. Hence, whatever he has been issuing the gag order, they are accepting it. because Times Now is a responsible channel. I don't think, and I cannot imagine also that Aam Aadmi Party issuing a gag order on Times Now, which is unacceptable.
Right. Right, Anant. I appreciate you joining us on the broadcast and sharing with us your point of view. Let me also get in a quick word from Jitendra Singh calling us from Delhi. Mr. Singh, good evening. Go ahead and share with us your perspective.
Good evening, madam. It's nice to see your program, and I am great admirer of the lady who conducts. I do not know her name, and she gives a very frank and unbiased opinion. Now, when we talk about chief ministers, whether that is Sheesh Mahal or any other Mahal, I want to know one thing: that what are the standard authorization of a chief minister in Delhi, in UP, in Madhya Pradesh, in Mizoram, in Assam, in other states? What is the standard authorization of an accommodation for a chief minister? I just want to know that, because after that, then the debate would become more meaningful. It should not be that it should be we are talking of something that somebody has got a new sofa set, why has he bought it? If somebody has bought new curtains, why has he bought it? But what is the authorization? If I come to know that, I think if the whole nation comes to know what is the authorization of a chief minister's residence, that would make more sense. That is precisely what I want to tell you.
Right, Mr. Singh. I appreciate you also joining us. And of course, we'll try discussing those aspects as well. But for the moment, we leave it at that. But quickly, let me go back to our guests as well. Thank you, everyone, for being patient. But Ravi, let me begin with you. See, the party, of course, often criticizes and corners other political parties and most often displays themselves as a party that is standing for freedom of expression. But when there are tough questions, especially in this case, the reality is far from different.
Things have not been very smooth between Aam Aadmi Party and the Times Now for quite some time. It is not an isolated incident. It has been going on, I think, for last quite a few years. I hope you recall that story of the Bhavna Kishore who was arrested in Punjab, and then she had to spend a night in the jail and all that. And subsequently, I think the same reporter, Tejashri Purandare, she was interviewing, trying to take a bite from Mr. Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, the tainted MP of BJP, and he broke her mic on camera. So I think that time, Times Now or any sister channel did not protest for that. But here I think it is being said that some orders have come from the top. I don't think that anybody from the top has given any order. If the order is there, it should be inside. That paper should be visible. So it is unbelievable that anybody has stopped Times Now there, and they have done the coverage on 16th and 17th continuously. So there is no reason for this being done. I think it's the Delhi police which is responsible, who are taking up the security for the Delhi Vidhan Sabha. I think they are the people answerable for this, and they should show that if they have got some piece of document to be shown to people, I think it is unacceptable altogether. Yeah.
All right, Ravi, as you make those opening remarks, I'm going to come back to you. Let me quickly go across to Chetan, our viewer calling us from Chennai. Chetan, good evening. Go ahead and share with us your viewpoint as well.
Yeah, I'm Viswanathan, not Chetan. Okay. I'm calling from Chennai. Now, actually, if already now Supreme Court judge has come out recently 2 days back, that he will take up the justice into hand. Okay, he will give the justice to the people. Why, as a media person, you can't go to a Supreme Court or somebody file a PLI that you are being denied permission to, enter the Secretariat or Assembly, whatever be the thing, when other journalists are going. It's a very simple thing, You can file a PLI because it is your media is a public media. All over India and all over the world, people are watching, So what is happening, it should be a neutral view from all journalists, not only one TV or accepting one TV. So I think it's better you go through the PLI method. Why you are afraid of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal or
Right.
Delhi police, whatever be the thing, I think there is a way out.
All right, Vishwanathan. We appreciate you, of course, giving us your perspective as well. Thank you very much for joining on the show. But let me go back to... All right, let me take in a caller quickly. Ravi calling us from Bengaluru. Ravi, good evening. Go ahead and share with us your perspective as well before I get in a word from our guests as well.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much. Good evening. And there is no doubt that media is the fourth pillar of democracy in India, and this is a strict no-no. This is a very, very bad action from the Aap government. They should. I mean, I agree that you exposed all the Sheesh Mahal and everything and all. They have to face it. I mean, how do they not face the tough questions from the media? And they should face the media, they should face the world, they should face India and answer to every question. If they are really very clean, why they are not allowing people, why they are not allowing the media to cover their assemblies? I mean, this is going one step ahead. I did not see this. I've been following Indian politics for about 20, 30 years now. I did not see, except for the emergency time, I did not see any parties, including Congress or BJP or any other ruling party, blocking the media. This is heights, actually. AAP is setting a new low in Indian politics. That's all I had to say.
Right, Ravi. Appreciate you also joining us on the show and sharing with us your perspective. Let me take that across to our guests who continue to stay with us. RP Singh, coming to you. Look, reporters were, of course, merely doing their jobs. Now, all media houses, in fact, got passes, like how my colleagues were also pointing out, that selectively they kept a certain network out, clear misuse of power, clear clamp on freedom of press. What do you think that the Kejriwal government is scared of to go to such an extent? Because this is not the first time, clearly, that we've seen it.
Well, let's understand what happened between day 4 yesterday and then today. Between 3 days, what has happened? Naresh Balyan the sting has been done on Naresh Balyan, which he has been doing Rangdari in city where, he has used some gangster named Sangwan to get money, to fleece money from the people of his own constituency, and then using his membership to get that money, and then parting that part of that money with the gangster. Now, that you have shown yesterday. You're one of the another channel, Navbharat, has shown this yesterday, and that's the reason. I mean, it's very well known. And I'm sorry, the Aam Aadmi Party supporter or the anti-Modi supporter who was anti-Modi panelist who was here, he's forgetting that even that Bijbhushan thing, your channel has shown that all day along. I mean, it was not just one time scene where Tejashri has gone there and her mic broke down, but that's how they try to build up narrative. The fact is that they can't afford anyone speaking against them. Naresh Balyan is a case story in itself. And also, it's not only Naresh Balyan. Earlier, when you spoke about the Sheesh Mahal, Bhavna Kishore was arrested in Ludhiana on a false case, on a wrong case, and then she got a bail later on, but they made their attempt to gag the media. That's how it is. When they are the one who used to talk about freedom of press and press ki ajadi, all that subject. But today they are exposed because they can't speak about the freedom of press today. And also that it's not only gagging through merely not allowing your TV journalists in the assembly. They will gag you through not giving ad on your channel also. Be prepared for that. That 1,000 crore rupees spent will be, you won't get part of it. I mean, as part of the campaign, they'll black you out. So this is part of their strategy to black out, to gag anything which is anti Aam Aadmi Party. That's how they are. I mean, this shows their anarchist DNA, the basic DNA of Aam Aadmi Party, which is anarchism, and then this reflects on that.
Right, RP Singh, as you make those pertaining points, also calling it anarchy, let me take that across to Ravi. Ravi, the place in which the reporters were present is not even the political party's property. So what really justifies this?
First of all, I said it, that this is absolutely unacceptable, and there is no gag order at all. If a gag order is there, it should be shown. I say, when I use the word, it is Delhi police who are handling the security. They have stopped it. And the friend from the BJP is not mentioning even once, because the BJP is the Ministry of Home Affairs controls the Delhi police. The Delhi police is not under the control of the Delhi government. So they are the people who have to stop, who have to send somebody who has to do anything. 16, 17, the Times Now and Times channels were covering that all the proceedings of the assembly. And as far as the covering of the events are concerned, it's a live telecast. Everything is visible to the entire world simultaneously when the our chief minister is speaking in the assembly. So there is nothing as such to be, stopped and covered unless and until these reporters have got a specific appointment with a particular MLA or a leader or someone to have his interview or something like that. I don't think that that's the case here. So if that such thing is there and he or she is stopped, I think that would be incorrect. But here the entire proceeding is visible to everyone. It is all in the social media domain, whatever Arvind Kejriwal has said. So this is absolutely nothing to do the press freedom and all. I think my friend who was talking about the press freedom, you should know that people are being sacked for making very innocent comment on the social media. Or in that the teachers are being sacked from their job for talking something about the prime minister or something like that. This is the state of anarchy in this country, and this is how this the BJP government is stifling the voice, the gagging voice of the entire country, the people of this country. Yeah.
But Ravi, as you point that out, in fact, our colleagues also did show us the process of it, which we'll come to playing probably the, the sequence yet again. But let me go across to Ashna, one of our viewers who's called in from Mumbai. Ashna, good evening. Go ahead and share with us your perspective.
Yes, I need to give you a little background about Mirror now. It started from Faye. It is a part of the Times Group and a very honest, ethical part of the Times Group. Times is as old as the fight for the independence of India. At that point of time, the fourth pillar of the country was the press. But if you look at what has been happening, you know that Congress also had banned Times Now. Why? Because you people are only talking against the opposition. You are only talking about against the Muslims and the Hindus. Kejriwal was supported by Times Now for ages. Why are you after one this thing?
Ashna, I have to interject you there, although we do appreciate you joining us on the broadcast and sharing with us your perspective as well. But let me take this conversation back to our guests. Omesh, you have been, listening to all these voices, the reactions also coming in. But this is not the first time, sadly, that we're seeing media gagging. In fact, just talking about the entire reportage of Sheesh Mahal, for that matter, there has been serious intimidation of media previously as well. What do you think really justifies this behavior for political parties to think they can get away by gagging the fourth pillar of democracy, that is?
Well, I don't really know. What is very funny is that you are blaming the Delhi police for stopping Times Now from getting in. Let us remember that the security of the National Assembly is entirely in the hands of the Speaker and of the Assembly Secretariat. And the Delhi police is there merely to assist them. They have no other role to play. So there can be no way that the police can stop you. So you have been stopped by someone in authority, whether in the government or in the Assembly. Now, who that is, we won't know. Although we should have known, because this is coming on your network from every early morning. Some and Aam Aadmi Party and their spokesmen are very quick to react to such things. There should have been some news item from their side justifying the move or denying the move. So, but neither has come. I mean, I presume that neither of these has come. So, to stop the press, now this is also quite this thing that because it is being telecast live, so the press reporters should not go. Well, if that is the case, then it should apply to everyone. Why should you pick up one particular channel to keep away? All other channels can go in. So if live telecast means fine, press freedom, then it should apply to all of everybody in Assembly and in Parliament. Now, it is really beyond my comprehension. I have been in Delhi government for a long time. I have never seen the press being prevented from entering either the Secretariat or entering in this particular case an Assembly this thing. Now, why one particular media has been stopped, it has to be explained. This is not something that is acceptable. I mean, not only to you, but it is not acceptable to the common man also. After all, the media has a right. There are many channels. You can say, why are there more than one channel? There should be only one channel. Now, that is not the case in a democracy. Everybody has a right to speak. So you have more than one channel. If there is more than one channel, then all of them should be allowed to function in a fair and independent manner. And if any, let us say you consider Times Now to be unfair, it is for the listening public to decide. It is for the public to decide as to which channel is fair. They can easily click buttons and go from one channel to another. So I personally feel this is a most unfair decision, and I somehow cannot make myself believe that this decision has been taken by somebody very high up. I also can't believe that the decision has not been taken by someone very high up, because you cannot stop the press like this. I have never seen, even when there are police firings is going on, police has not been able to stop the press, and they have all not even tried to stop the press. And you see all the coverage in all the events that have taken place. There have been cameras all around. Cameras have exposed what is happening. So why should that not be the case in the assembly? Very, very difficult to understand. I think there must be another point of view. That point of view should come before us. But in the meantime, since there is no point of view before us, we must condemn this action, and we must request the authorities to allow the press to operate in a free and independent manner. And that applies not just to one or two channels, it applies to all channels and newspapers. All of them should be allowed to function in a free and independent manner, and we should not try to put undue pressure on channels, whether it is due to a particular story earlier or not. I have no way of commenting. I have no way of knowing also. But putting 2 and 2 together and coming to 4 is something that is possible, because after all, that thing has happened. And that is something which was being discussed in the assembly, and there was a bit of an uproar there. So this was an important issue. Maybe that has been this thing. But if that was the case, that story appeared many days back. How is it that it is being operated today? It has not been operated in the past. Why is it being done now? I think an explanation is called for. The public must know what the facts are. And it's not just a question of PIL by the channel. No, it is my right. It is my right as a viewing public to know why a particular channel has been bought, why a particular newspaper has been banned. After all, this is not an emergency situation where the government can do anything they like. No, the government has no emergency powers. And it's most ridiculous to say that the Delhi police will do it on its own. Why should they? What interest do they have to stop the Times Now from getting in? No, I don't think so. And this may be a huge miscalculation on somebody's part, or a huge blunder on somebody's part. If it is so, it must come out. They must apologize to the public. They must apologize to Times Now or whoever is being prevented from going in. And the matter should be closed. I mean, you can't allow a blatant act like this to go on, as seems to be the case.
Right, Mr. Saigal, as you make those pertaining points, we'll of course take that conversation forward just in a few minutes. I do understand Raj Pillai, our viewer from Bengaluru, has called in. Raj, good evening. Go ahead and share with us your perspective that our guests would also like to know.
Thank Mirror Now for taking this up, and I would like to talk on behalf of all the common man, common people of this country, that Aam Aadmi Party, was one we all thought is different. And they literally fooled us, I mean, it's so sad to see that such politicians exist in this country who, with all the topis in the world, how they have put an ice topi on us. And I would say that now it is the media which created Aam Aadmi Party. Now it is the responsibility of the media to expose the Aam Aadmi Party. Your guys are doing a great job. Please continue it. Thank you so much.
Mr. Pillai, I appreciate you encouraging our team and giving us those words as well. But for the moment, we leave it at that. Want to thank RP Singh, Omesh, as well as Ravi for joining us on the show as well and sharing with us your perspective. But we leave it at that, and we continue to track this particular top story. In fact, the opposition has slammed the gundagardi of the AAP government for blocking Times Network. BJP says they cannot impose Taliban rule in Delhi. In fact, Congress says can't gag the fourth pillar of democracy. Let's listen in.
सर ये व्यक्तिगत हुआ जा रहा है क्योंकि हमने खबर जो चलाई उसके लिए जो सरकार है माफ कीजिएगा जो केजरीवाल की सरकार है उनके मंत्री जवाब नहीं दे पाए, हमारे साथ तमाम बदसलूकियां हुई सिर्फ इस खुन्नस को लेके कि हम लोगों ने उनकी पोल क्यों खोल दी शीश महल के तहत।
नहीं, एकदम सही है, वो उनने गलत किया इस बात को, क्योंकि यदि हमने खबर चलाई है तो उसके तमाम तरीके कानूनी तरीके, यदि हमने झूठी खबर फैलाई है तो उसके भी तमाम कानून हैं, कायदे हैं, उससे हम अदालत जा सकते हैं, कोई बात कर सकते हैं। या हम कहते हैं कि संसद के खिलाफ भी आपने या विधानसभा के खिलाफ आपने कुछ किया है, उसके भी प्रोसीजर्स है, विधानसभा नियमों प्रक्रियाओं से चलती है, उस नियम प्रक्रिया के भीतर हमको कार्रवाई करना चाहिए। पर किसी चैनल को या किसी पत्रकार को या किसी प्रेस को हम प्रतिबंध लगा करके, और हम ऐसा समझते हैं कि लोकतंत्र के जो हमारा एक भाव है उस पर चोट पहुंचाने का काम करते हैं, इसलिए किसी तरह के प्रतिबंध का मैं कम से कम मैं उसका सहमत नहीं हो सकता हूं, मैं उसका विरोधी हूं, तो किसी तरह का प्रतिबंध नहीं होना चाहिए।
In a strong attack, Goa CM and former Speaker of the state, Pramod Sawant, says no government or chief minister has any right to gag media. He was speaking to Mirror Now's managing editor, Nikunj Garg. Listen in.
How democracy is actually diminished by the champions of democracy, the so-called champions of democracy. In Delhi Assembly, Times Network's reporters today were particularly barred from covering the Assembly proceedings. This, in my long career of journalism, I have never seen. And fortunately enough, I am joined by a man who has been the Speaker of a state assembly, the Goa Assembly, and I wish to ask him. Dr. Sawant, आपसे मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूँ कि आप स्पीकर रहे और एक असेंबली जो होती है वो एक पब्लिक प्लेस है, लोगों के मुद्दे कंसर्न वहां उठाए जाते हैं। इसमें से किसी भी प्रेस के सेक्शन को, आज टाइम्स मीडिया है, आज टाइम्स नाउ है, आज टाइम्स ग्रुप है, कल कोई भी हो सकता है, किसी को बैन कर देना, कवर करने से ये कहाँ की सभ्यता, कौन सी डेमोक्रेसी का पार्ट है?
मुझे लगता है कि असेंबली में कोई स्पीकर हो या चीफ मिनिस्टर हो, कोई किसी को बैन नहीं कर सकता है। द असेंबली का प्रोसीडिंग्स जो रहता है वो हर एक के लिए, और खास करके पत्रकार के लिए, तो कोई भी पत्रकार रहने दो, तब सबके लिए ओपन है। कोई इस तरह से बैन बिल्कुल ही नहीं कर सकता है। मैं जिस किसी ने भी बैन किया है मैं उसकी निंदा करता हूं, क्योंकि ये उचित नहीं है और डेमोक्रेसी में तो बिल्कुल नहीं है। दिस इज एन मर्डर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी।
The gross misconduct of the Delhi government has been criticized by press clubs, politicians and citizens alike. Listen in to the voice of the people.
देखिए, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी का असली रूप अब जनता के सामने आ रहा है। नरेंद्र मोदी जी को वो हर वक्त क्लेम करते रहते हैं, ब्लेम करते रहते हैं कि उनके हाथों से डेमोक्रेसी का कत्ल हो रहा है, मगर कत्ल करने वाले लोग तो असल में ये लोग हैं। आम जनता के विचारों को अगर माध्यम के द्वारा, चैनल्स के द्वारा उनके की हुई गलतियों को अगर कोई चैनल पेश कर रहा है तो उसको दबाने के लिए, उसकी जो एक पत्रकारिता की गरिमा है उसका कत्ल करने के लिए अरविंद केजरीवाल सीधे सीधे ये तुगलकशाही का उपयोग कर रहे हैं। टाइम्स नाउ कोई प्राइवेट कंपनी तो नहीं है, न्यूज़ चैनल है, उसने अपनी एक विचारों को जनता तक पहुंचाया। इसका बदला लेने के कारण शायद इन्होंने ये बात टाइम्स नाउ के खिलाफ की है।
पूरे देश ने देखा है कि केजरीवाल ने अपना एक शीश महल बनाया था, उसमें कितने पैसे लगे थे, और आपका जो टाइम्स नेटवर्क ने उस पर सवाल उठाया था कि ये जो 100 करोड़ जनता का पैसा केजरीवाल ने अपने महल, जो आदमी एक आम आदमी का नाम लेके जिसने सत्ता प्राप्त किया, वो अपना बंगला बनाने लगा, शीश महल बनाने लगा। इसीलिए उनको डर लगता है कि आप जैसे जो चैनल है, नेटवर्क है, आप जो सवाल उठाते हो, और आज केजरीवाल एक डिक्टेटर बन गए, तानाशाह बन गए, वो उनका ये सोच है कि मैं महल बनाऊंगा 100 करोड़ का, मेरे से सवाल नहीं उठा सकते। इसीलिए आप जैसे चैनल को वो दबाना चाहते हैं, आपकी आवाज़ को दबाना चाहते हैं। उनका एकमात्र मकसद है कि कोई केजरीवाल को सवाल ना उठा पाए। केजरीवाल जो पाप करना चाहे, जितने भी भ्रष्टाचार करना चाहे, उनके आधे मंत्री भ्रष्टाचार में जेल है, आप सवाल उठाते हैं, इसलिए उनको बुरा लगता है। उनके सिसोदिया जो है, जो उन्होंने शराब घोटाला किया, जेल में है, आप सवाल उठाते हैं तो बुरा लगता है।
Time for a quick break here on News at 7. Lots more coming up on the other side this Friday evening. Stay with us.